We're back on your screens. It's the AM show, the newspaper review segment. Benjamin is wearing green because it's not telepathy. Now he just knows the colors I like to wear on particular days, and he likes to copy me.
You don't want to start from that angle because I was just asking whether she was looking into some crystal ball, and any color I pick, if I pick navy blue, this lady will pick a shade of blue. Today I decided to, someone saw me crossing the street and said it was bottle green. I'm using bottle green. Sister, please stand. Stand. Let them see the mischief. So and this shade of green.
Why did you decide
I choose to use this.
Indulge us, it's Friday.
And all of a sudden, I mean, what is it? Why can't you leave my colors in peace?
You should stop this, Benjamin.
Look, she even decided to use green spectacles. Who does that?
Doc.
You people be the judges, whether or not I am speaking the truth.
You think I would copy Benjamin with colors? I'm the lady here.
Yeah, ladies are very good at choosing colors. So I'll stop here and then.
I've just been sold out by the Brotherhood.
But Dr. Philboni is former GJA president, and he's joining us to get into the papers, all the stories that have been captured. Doc, it's good to have you in the studio.
It ignites a high sense of pride to be at the home of fearless, independent, and credible journalism.
Yeah.
So as we do on the show, you have about a minute to get into any issue of national interest that you want to respond to or react to.
But before you get there, let me just acknowledge those who make it possible for us to do this every day. And I'm talking about none other than Endpoint Homeopathic Clinic. We celebrate them because they help us bring this segment to you every weekday. And here's what they're offering you. If you're a man, prostate screening. Go and check out your prostate for free. If you're a woman, fertility screening as well for free. Go check yourself out. Know what is happening as far as your fertility, reproductive issues are concerned. You can reach out to Endpoint Homeopathic Clinic, starting from here in Accra at Spintex, opposite the Shell signboard. Kumasi, Kronoma here behind the Angel Educational Complex. There's Takra de Anaji State, Tema, Community 22, Techiman, Hanswa, and Esiama Enzima. You can also reach them via the phone lines on, are you ready? 0244 867 068 or 0274 234 321. Endpoint Homeopathic Clinic, the end to chronic disease. And now, back to you, Philboni.
For your take.
My take is on the doomsday crisis. And this one, I want to seize the opportunity to call out the speechwriters of His Excellency the President. The President did tell the nation that doomsday was over. What the contrary was the truth. And we can credit the President with the quality of his speeches and the impeccable delivery. But the content, as far as factual accuracy is concerned, is something else. So I will make a serious plea to the speechwriters to ensure that his speeches are devoid of factual noises. They should stick to the fact. They should do their homework to ensure that whatever the president says does not serve as a magnet to attract negative comments from the citizenry.
Right. On this doom, I've had power outages 2 days in a row.
2 days in a row.
So it was Wednesday evening, and when I got home yesterday, there was no light. It came back on around 6 o'clock. The cameraman is nodding. We live in the same neighborhood. So yeah, we didn't have light. It came back around 6 p.m. So yeah, doomsday is not over. And
unfortunately for ECG, I would have been the Lone Ranger saluting them this morning. But they decided to do it to me. For about, to be honest, for about a fortnight, almost 2 weeks, I've not had a power outage. I always issue the caveat of maybe when I'm out of home and it happens sometimes, I don't know. But as of night, by the time I come in the evening or something, I have light. But then yesterday, I was just there, and interestingly, I was rather, it had been that kind of day, pretty long day. I get home, and then it wasn't too long, Charlie. The lights, I was like, hey. And Then it started raining, and I just knew that, so once the rain has started, it's not going to. It came way later, somewhere at dawn, I think, much later. And
the whole of Adenta was engulfed in darkness last night.
Yeah. But
it was bad.
I must admit, though, it's whatever they're doing is better than it used to be. Right.
Yes, it's better than
every other day.
Certainly, yes.
But now it's just like
Certainly,
once
yes,
a week.
yeah.
I've had twice a week. I don't know how many times your lights went on, but it's better. So whatever they're doing, they should just speed it up. We know it's an economic issue, it's a financial issue, but I mean, that's not what they're admitting to. So whatever they're doing, just speed it up. Right. Should we get into the papers now? I'll start with the Ghanaian Times newspaper. On the front page, supports government's grow economy. That is Majority Leader Afenyo Makin and his courting minority to support this tax waiver issue. Ghana set to roll out 5G mobile broadband service, Communications Minister says. State church must partner to propel development, according to the Vice President. Pokwasin Sawam Road project in limbo. Over 100 court cases, compensations, relocations of utility lines delay completion. Ovoso opens defense June 20th in alleged plot to harm EC chairperson. Let's start with that story. It's on page 3 of the Ghanaian Times newspaper, and it reads, the former national chairman of the National Democratic Congress, Mr. Samuel Ofosu-Ampofo, will open his defense before the Accra High Court on June 20th. Mr. Ampofo is standing trial together with Mr. Anthony Kweku-Buahin, a former Deputy Communications Officer of the NDC, for allegedly plotting to harm the Electoral Commission chairperson, Mrs. Jean Adukwe Mensah. The former NDC chairman returned from the United States of America a few days ago after undergoing a minor surgery. Now, he was expected to open his defense yesterday, but his counsel, Mr. Tony Luther, told the courts, presided over by Justice Samuel Asiedu, a Supreme Court judge sitting with additional responsibility as a High Court, that his client is unwell. Senior Breku chiefs decry land guard activities, call on Interior Minister to intervene. Businessman accused of 289,000 Ghana cedi visa fraud remanded. I just want to go through the paper, everything in the other stories in here, do the ones that we're interested in, and then we take our reactions. 5 border posts in Ghana's north renovated. 5 border posts in 3 regions in the north have been renovated to help improve security operations at Ghana's border post, undertaken in partnership with the government of the United States of America. The beneficiary borders are located in the Upper East, Upper West, and Northeast regions. They are the Namu border post, Pulumonko border post, and Mongori, all in the Upper East region, while Bunkpuguri and Hamile border posts in the Northeast and Upper West regions, respectively. Now, speaking at the handover ceremony at Namu in the Bongo district of the Upper West region, that was on Wednesday, the Deputy Minister for Interior, Nana Kwansaiya, said the $1.6 million project fitted with installation of migration information and data analysis system and water, sanitation, and hygiene facilities had benefited the status of borders and would motivate personnel of the Ghana Immigration Service to work harder in tackling security issues emanating from the borders. Other stories: adapt new varieties to improve crop yields, CSIR to farmers. Pokwasin Sawam Road project in limbo. Over 100 court cases, compensations, relocations of utility lines delay completion. State church must partner to propel development, according to the Vice President. Let me do that. The Vice President, Dr. Alhaji Mohammed, is advocating strengthened partnership between the government, the church, and other faith-based organizations to propel the country's development. Such a partnership, he said, would herald what he described as a golden age of collaboration, which formally recognizes the church and other faith-based organizations as key development partners of the country. And the final story I'll do now is Ghana set to roll 5G mobile broadband service, according to Communication Minister. Yesterday, that was launched, and they said it's set to roll out by the last quarter of this year. So let me get into the story. Ghana is set to roll out its 5G mobile broadband services as part of measures to propel the country into fully digitized society by the end of 2030. The Minister of Communications, Mrs. Eslo Uswekufu, has announced. The rollout, which is scheduled within the next 6 months, would be undertaken by Next Gen Infraco, a consortium specially put together to develop the necessary infrastructure for the rollout. I mean, this is good news, but there have been some concerns about, you know, the company being just formed a week before the president confirmed this deal. So I don't know what your take is on all these issues, but
the official explanation is that this is a special purpose vehicle.
Yes.
To drive this 5G agenda, and you cannot fault Manasseh for always seeking for looking for dark spots, contracts, and all that. So I think it calls for further investigation so that the truth will be unraveled.
I think if they're doing a good job, there should be no brouhaha about it, you know. These are giant tech companies, a consortium of them. So I don't know what the issue here is. Anyway, Benjamin.
You say if they
come
are doing...
back for others, for your reaction on the other stories, but...
You say if they are doing a good job. They've not even started any job yet, at least.
They must be competent, otherwise. I heard part of her speech, and she said, based on previous experience, that's why they do not want to auction, you know, this. So I'm sure there were some thorough processes that these companies went through, which is how come they emerged as the ones to drive this special purpose vehicle. But what's on your mind?
I will not denigrate the competence of whichever entity. I will just say that time without number, whether it is SML being subsumed under West Blue, or we tend to do this thing where even if something is right, the optics don't look good. Even where it is right, in the court of public opinion, it looks wrong. Look at this Brian Achampong thing. And even yesterday, some videos we have of the board chair and tassels and looks, it paints a certain picture, especially if you are to take, and you remember, I've been telling you here that there's no way the Labadi Beach Hotel can be that bad. You see, even before we had the figures, I had been repeating that from time to time, there are events and I go there, what I see with my layman's eyes and the questions I ask, there's no way. You see, truthfully, their bank balances. How can a company have over 50 million Ghana cedis in reserve? No, not profit, in reserve. Money that is just cooling off. And you say you need to inject capital and all of that. How much would? So I'm just saying that some of the things that are done, and there, I would also tell you, it is not to denigrate the business acumen or the prowess of Dr. Brian Achampong or Rock City. Okay. But how much are they, what is their revenue in a year, Rock City, vis-a-vis even Labadi Beach Hotel alone? How can a smaller entity or a bigger entity be subsumed under a smaller entity? Does it make any sense to you? I don't know. It is not, again, Dr. Brian Achampong, I know him personally, but the few encounters we've had, he's a very affable, down-to-earth person. But the point is, in this, does it make technical sense to you? And that's the same approach I'm going to use for this. SML, West Blue, 3 times turned down by the PPA. You subsume it under West Blue, SMEL becomes SML. And then all of a sudden, we have the things we are seeing. We are always doing things that will create a spectacle. And then when media people talk about it, oh, but you people, are you saying that we couldn't have found any other way of going about this? You say special purpose vehicle, fine. 1 week before, 1 week, and then I mean, it's not to say that the entity may not be competent, may not be effective, may not be efficient. No, that is not what I'm saying. But why this situation? 1 week. Speculation? What does it leave in there? For me, let's give them the benefit of the doubt. And I'll say what people want to do, let them do. Because at this point in time, whatever you say or don't say, what will happen will happen. That's it.
I just think that 2 things, actually. First, it's good that we're asking these questions now and not wait till SML issues, come again before we are asking questions about it. So right now, we are looking for the answers. But I also know that when it comes to major projects, sometimes certain aspects of the project delay, This is not me defending anyone, but maybe, just maybe, they had set in motion plans to combine these companies to get this consortium, get this deal out there. But certain factors of the deal delay, for which reason it only took a week of completing whatever aspect of that project before the deal was actually made. But what do I know?
The questions, Manasseh, I think also ought to be examined. I don't think he is making them just to put spokes in the 5G agenda or to court fame or something, because Manasseh, we all know, is potentially an institution when it comes to investigative journalism.
Yeah.
So I will urge authorities to sharpen their look at what Manasseh, the issues he is raised, the supreme interest of this nation. And I must also reiterate that journalism is about asking questions. So nobody should fault us for asking all the questions with the hope that the questions will prompt the right responses from the right quarters.
Right.
And we have, I usually do this. Some people, do you know the people who disappoint me the most in Ghana? The people we seek to serve, who sometimes throw dirt back at us. There's a comment on our social media, and this person I have noted before, because what these people don't know often is that when they post these messages, I go to their Facebook, and then I can tell where they are coming from. This Nana Prempe person I have checked out before, and I will check him out again today, just for.
I guess.
But no, it doesn't matter. The person is a Ghanaian.
Okay.
Now he sends a message that says, "You host, instead of talking about Ofosu Ampofo tape, you have ignored that and you are talking about hotels." This person must not have listened to when just a few minutes ago we were talking about the Ofosu Ampofo tape. But this is the caliber of people sometimes that I feel that, and I'm not being harsh, these are some of the dangerous elements in our country. Why? Because every issue that comes up, NDC or MPP, must be discussed dispassionately.
Oh.
But this 5G issue and the other issues that have arisen are issues that since yesterday have been extremely topical. The Ofosu Ampofo issue has been with us for a long time. It's not a new issue. It's just a new flair of the issue. It's an update on it.
Yeah.
So I'm sorry, sometimes you regret standing in, even risking your life to do some things for some Ghanaians like this person. Because, and I'm being a little, because you do all of this, they sit down and they send spiteful, acerbic, abrasive, I don't want to use the other words, messages. And these are the people in whose interest you are fighting. Interesting, curious. That is why I feel, as Ghanaians, we're not going to make a lot of progress until we really, it's not just changing the political elite, it's changing this one. That's all I'll say. Please go ahead.
Let's get into your newspaper.
New Finder, the New Finder banners the 5G contract, and it says Minister justifies the contract, the Minister of Communications and Digitalization, as Lausu Kufu, has defended the decision to award the 5G broadband services network rollout contract to Next Gen Infrastructure Company, a special purpose vehicle established just 1 week before the contract was awarded. The SPV is tasked with developing new shared infrastructure to deliver affordable 5G mobile broadband services across the country. I believe we've touched on this. And every issue has two or more sides. So the government is defending, as usual, a decision to put together a special purpose vehicle. And journalists will have the latitude to also examine whatever has been put out.
Yeah.
And so in a free society, this is normal.
Okay, let's see what posterity reveals, because whatever it is, time will always reveal.
Sure.
Any other stories?
We have another important story, legal framework key to proper use of AI. And this is coming from the boss of Margins, and the Chief Executive Officer and founder of Margins ID Group, Moses Kwesi Baden Jr., has emphasized the need to develop a clear ethical and legal framework for the proper use of artificial intelligence in this country. We believe this framework must be created in collaboration with key international players and through building local capacity to ensure the benefits of artificial intelligence are not eroded by its threats.
Right. I had the privilege of hosting the Industry Engagement Forum 2024, which is industry driving AI and the fourth industrial revolution. And the question of if AI will steal our jobs, if AI is dangerous, came up. And from all the speakers, A-list industry players from all over the world were there. And it says AI is just something that gives us superpowers, you know, and it's evolution or revolution. We've gone past the time where human beings had to actively be doing things with our hands and tools to make work or to be productive. So it's time we embrace AI. With AI, we do things faster, smarter. And so I get that sometimes we watch a lot of movies and we see how AI takes over the world and they want to dominate because, you know, they are evolving constantly and they're self-learning entity. But I think we should embrace AI, like, you know, they're saying, not to be afraid of it. If you understand what it is, if you really get to understand and interact with AI, it gives you superpowers because you can speak to a machine and it can give you tutorials, apt lessons in whatever topics that you want to learn. So that's just my take on artificial intelligence. We should not be afraid of it. We should rather embrace it because it gives you superpowers to do anything you want to do. Look at ChatGPT. Look at Meta on WhatsApp. Ask it anything, you know. Yeah.
Sweetie, it brooks no argument that AI has come to make life easier for all of us. But we should also look at the flip side of AI, the dangers it poses. And we all know we are in election year, and one danger is that AI can tell the elections, can steal the election.
How so?
Yes, because AI can mimic people's voices. AI can be used for evil purposes.
Okay.
I mean, you're now delving into deep fake.
Deep fake.
Which is where they can put someone's image. I mean, it's been done to us, some of us here, where some people are selling their products and they mimic a host, let's say on this platform, and make it appear the host is saying something about the product, when in fact,
But you can
that's
tell
not what.
then.
It's not always, it's not everybody. Some of them are pretty advanced.
Yeah.
I mean, I've seen proper deep fake done of former President Obama and others before. If you are not really, in fact, for some of them, you may have to use certain technical gadgets before you can tell it is deep fake and not, you can't just listen and say, oh, this is deep fake, or observe and think it is. So that's how advanced AI and other technologies are really good, but they are also a disaster in waiting if the world doesn't handle the use of them well. Look at even the impact on education. A lot of young ones nowadays are, instead of doing their assignments or homework, they are using AI. So you may cut corners, but in the end, you will have people who have passed exams and know nothing.
Sure.
You get it? So it must be a balance.
Yeah.
In terms of work, I would just say that there are some things, I do some translation work and stuff. Try using Google Translate or other. Some things may give you certain things, but unless you know what you are doing, you'll be led astray, which is where AI can't go. AI can't humanize to a certain extent. AI can't do certain things. So in terms of careers and staying relevant, I would say be the best at what you do and add so many skills that, AI can't take your job away from you. Because now AI is writing articles.
Sure.
Yeah.
A lot of the articles you may be seeing on some international platforms are not someone who said, it's AI penning the articles, fed with information, penning articles. So.
But that's why I agree with you. It's here to stay. And
so deal with it.
Evolving. So we need to be knowledgeable enough to have a good grip on it so that it doesn't take, it doesn't run us like deep fake and all that. So it's about broadening our knowledge, broadening the horizon, understanding how to actually use it. But I'm just all for AI and I get the dangers, but let's go. Benjamin, we are...
All right, so Daily Guide newspaper, you're sabotaging the economy, minority told by the majority leader, Alexander Afenyo-Markin. I'll get into that story. Leaked tape of Osuampofo to open defense in 3 weeks. I'm sure Nana Prempeh will not hear this one too, that he will think we've skipped it. So Nana Prempe, please observe, open your ears, pay attention. 2.37 million euro ambulance case. Ato Forson requests live telecast trial. Baumia takes campaign to Volta region. Government to roll out 5G services soon. I can't help doing this sometimes. Daily Guide, you say to roll out. You are using roll out as a verb and you put it together. It's not a noun. But anyway, on the back page, Vincent Kompany is Bayern's new manager. And then World Cup qualification national project. And then Kudus Europa solo strike tops all. Let me start from there. So Ghana midfielder Mohamed Kudus has won the goal of the season in the Europa League following votes from fans of the competition. The West Ham United Stars' solo strike against Freiburg edged Ademola Lookman's second goal in the Europa League final against Bayer Leverkusen and Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang's acrobatic kick against Ajax to win the accolade. Kudus has just been soaring, moving from height to height. I cannot express just how happy I am for this gentleman. And I just hope that the Black Stars will not... Yeah, kudos to Kudus. Will not waste him. But I saw something. Mohamed Kudus is not joining Jay-Z's Rock Nation. I saw this online, and it's just an interesting story you could check out. But let me get into other substantial bits, starting from page 3 of the paper. So, Minority Leader Dr. Ato Forson, and this is the ambulance case, has through his lawyers petitioned the Chief Justice to permit the live broadcast of the remainder of the defective ambulance trial. This, according to the petition, is, quote, in light of recent developments that have significantly impacted public perception of the case and the administration of justice. We already know so much about, I'll not belabor the point. Then, you're sabotaging the economy, Minority told. Now, the Majority Caucus in Parliament has stated that the NDC minority MP's persistent opposition to the government's tax waivers for companies under the one district, one factory policy is an act of economic sabotage. According to the caucus, it has identified a growing number of low-level sabotage activities in the approval process of tax waivers for 42 Ghanaian companies. You know, in recent times, the Deputy Minister of Finance, Dr. Stephen Amwa, Sticker, as we all call him, was talking about how we are so import biased, we have an import-driven economy and all of that. I was just asking myself, was that not exactly what 1D1F was supposed to cure? Has it cured it? So you see, sometimes when we say it has worked, it is great, it's not that nothing has been done, but if the right things had truly been done, we wouldn't still be bringing toothpicks.
Certainly, yes.
Toothpicks into this country from China and other places, because especially now when your CD is feeling the crunch. And thankfully, I think between yesterday and today, the CD has appreciated a bit. Good stuff.
Yeah. But
we have no business being where we are. Let me just add, I've done a Afenyo marking on this. Let me add the leaked tape. Since Nana Prempe didn't hear the first one, I'll add the second one so that maybe this time he will hear it. So a high court in Accra has given the immediate past national chairman of the National Democratic Congress, Samuel Ofosu-Ampofo, another 3 weeks within which to open his defense. Mr. Ofosu-Ampofo and Anthony Kweku-Boahin, a communications officer of the NDC, are on trial over a leaked audio tape which captures how the opposition NDC was allegedly planning to attack some public officers, including the chairperson of the EC. But you see, I am also curious. This issue, you remember how long, you would remember, this has lasted.
Yeah.
Sometimes I ask myself, why now? So 3 issues for your reflection. Have your money, please.
Let me look at the political framework between NDC and NPP over the tax waiver issue. And I think it calls for cost-benefit analysis of this tax waiver system. NPP is accusing NDC of perpetrating duplicity because they also did it in their regime. And but the fact can hardly be articulated that our economy is on the ropes, cost of living is bitingly bitter for majority of the citizens. And our economic challenges are skyrocketing. So there's a need to take a hard look at anything which will cause a drain
in our coffers.
in our coffers.
Yeah.
If it was done in the past, doesn't mean that it should be perpetrated, it should be repeated now. At what cost? Yes, we know that in Ghana everything is fractured in partisan lenses. Political football will continue to be with us until Jesus returns. So there's a need to look at, take a hard look, and the two sides should also take the supreme interest of this nation at heart at all times. This is my thing.
Okay. Let me just add some entertainment news before we check out the headlines from some other papers online. Someone I saw here, I saw her twice, so I decided to take a picture with her. Ahofe Patri. She came through Joy Prime the other day. And there's a story here, actually from her Joy Prime interview on Wednesday. She said, I want someone who is going to worship me, in terms of a relationship. I want someone who is going to worship me as though I were the best thing ever to happen to him. And she stated that, emphasizing her preference for a partner who would hold her in the highest regard. She wants to be pampered, basically. I think maybe today for some mischievous reasons, I may post that picture with her. It was a very nice, some very nice photos. Then there's this one. I don't know why sometimes this becomes surprising. I'm still a virgin at 28. Alex Unusual. So Big Brother Niger reality star Alexandra Asogwa, popularly known as Alex Unusual, has left fans in shock with her latest revelation. And she took to Snapchat. Why people are in shock, I don't know. So we've got to the point where if you're a virgin at 28, it is some sort of, like, news. It's odd. I get surprised. And the last one, Lil Wayne posts movie, he postpones movie premiere. But I'm going to ask a question. That 3-year-old who is now dead, 3-year-old, that person could have been the person to discover the cure for AIDS, could have been the next Ghanaian president, could have been whatever. How are we addressing the issue? And I'll just be, because the law it treats everybody, it should, equally, way up to the president. The president has certain privileges per the Constitution. Beyond that, he's an ordinary man like everybody else. So you remember the issue of Edem back then, Edem. I felt very sad, but how has that issue progressed? What is the position on that? Now we have Lil Wayne. Some people have said certain things about how this person does this or does that. I don't want to wade into that. The family is unhappy. The last time I heard anything from them. 3-year-old, dead. Ghana Police Service, what is the latest on this 3-year-old? If this were my son, I don't know. Any reflections before we take the headlines?
So in the name of comprehensive journalism, we should follow this up. We should not rest until justice is done in this and other issues.
Anyway, there are other headlines we can actually look at. There's the Daily Graphic. MTN, GCGL to deepen collaboration. Nation records 11.5 billion Ghana cedi trade surplus first quarter. That's the Daily Graphic newspaper we are looking at now. And then cheaper, faster internet in 6 months. Government partners 7 firms to roll out 5G technology.
There's the Ghanaian Observer. Baumia wows TUC. Government committed to advancing STEM education, according to President Akufo-Addo, upon Nkrumah charges contractors, and NUGS appeals to governments. Those are just some stories captured on the front page. And we also have the Republic Press. Amidu dares Bagbin, refuses to apologize over Dubai secret meeting, claims government to meet organized labor over SNIT hotel sale. Yesterday, they actually met the Employment Ministry, and they said they are listening. They are listening. And
I think the TUC said something like,
yes, one, halt the deal.
Yeah.
We've already
the
done.
From Joy News this morning was that SNIT is on the verge of cancelling the deal.
As they should. Yeah. Because it's our money. And the workers are saying, hold on, cancel it. We need to have clarity on how we move forward, because this is not your money. It's taxpayers' money. So
we saw images of tempers flaring yesterday from A certain side.
Yes.
It no be joke.
Right. So the Daily Statesman also banners NDC blocks incentives for business. That is Afenyo Markin's cry over this tax waiver issue. New era for Ghana's digital connectivity. Ghana now richer than Nigeria. Really? I wish I could get into that story to see what the facts are.
What?
In terms of what? My question exactly. And
But what are you saying? Are you saying we can't be? We are wealthier than Nigeria in some instances.
The population of Lagos.
In some
alone
instances.
is that of Ghana. So
Nigerians are my people, but there are areas.
Are my people
there are,
too,
please,
Benjamin.
you don't know the link.
Oh, you don't know.
It runs deep.
Excuse my French. A whole Nigerian community.
You have no idea. Anyway, let's go on. Check out others.
Right. So, and the Chronicle. That's the last one I'll do. Varsity professors have pocketed 700 million Ghana cedis
as book and research allowance since 2020. That's according to President Akufo-Addo. In fact, I just remember that this morning I saw something from Professor Jampo. He sent me something. Let me check out whether... Okay, so he talks about some of these matters, but I don't think we have time to get into it. Maybe it's something else we can delve into later.
Right. And that's how we are wrapping up.
Final words, Afil Money, and then I'll cap it all off.
As a media person, my interest is still in journalism and to be on the cusp of crucial election, and NDC hell-bent on breaking the A's, MPP
right.
on breaking the A's, and MDC on blocking the 8. But as journalists, we ought to be professional whatever we do. And democracy goes beyond the performative act of casting elections every 4 years. We have a responsibility to ensure that people vote and vote wisely. Through the process of sorting, we should dig and bring out the backgrounds of all the candidates for the people to make wise choices at the polls.
Right.
And, you know, election is a process. And between now and December, we have a responsibility to ensure that the process is on course. And come 7 December, whoever wins should be the choice of the whole nation.
All right. I'm curious, though, what do you think it would take to stop this over-politicization of every entity in this country? What do you think it would take?
Because our society is sharply divided between NDC and MPP. Ours is a highly partisan society. And the media, apart from that, there's a need more than ever before for journalists or media institutions to showcase their credibility, their independence, and their fearless streak. So this is not to do any campaign for multimedia.
We don't mind. We know ball.
but I believe you're on the right track. So this should serve as an example for others. Others, you can easily tell where their bread is buttered, and the agenda they push, you can tell that they are outlets for certain political parties. But what we need now, more than ever before, is the independence and the credibility of journalism. Credibility decides everything. Once you lose your credibility, you have no business being this serious business called journalism.
Right.
It will take a Ghanaian leader with Ghana at heart, not a partisan leader. Simple.
That's it.
A Ghanaian leader with Ghana at heart, not a partisan leader. And when Dr. Arthur Kennedy spoke to me a while ago, he mentioned that back then, in a conversation with our now president, the president said, we have an executive that is too powerful, a president that I don't want, we even should have a parliamentary system. What is he doing while in office? We need someone who will not just be a leader of a party, but have Ghana at heart. Regardless of where your politics, when I speak of my blunt thoughts today, I'll be talking about contractors. I'll be talking about a number of things. I just feel we've got to the point where we are so partisan that we can't look beyond our partisan noses to see the rest of the people. And that's where the problem is. That's how we cap off the news review. It's always brought to you courtesy of Endpoint Homeopathic Clinic. They're offering you prostate screening for free if you're a man, fertility screening for free if you're a woman. Reach out to them at any of their branches, starting from here in Accra, Spintex opposite the Shell signboard, Kumasi, Kronoma here behind the Angel Educational Complex, Takrade Anaji State, Techiman, Hansua, Tema Community 22 as well, and the Siamansama. You'd like to reach out to them via phone. The numbers are 0244 867 068 or 0274 234 321. Endpoint Homeopathic Clinic, the end to chronic disease. Thank you so much, Afilmoni, for having joined the conversation. Sports is up next. Do stay.